I was going to go outside today and film, talk to you about weeds. Last week I told you that people are not stupid. There's just stupid things in the world. I remember when I was a little kid, well, I was never really little, I was young once. But after a rainstorm like what you may be hearing in the background, I was always called by this old lady named Fenderson. And she was so concerned that her outside property was going to grow weeds. And she'd call me right after every rainstorm and say, "Get over here and come and get rid of my weeds." I mentioned our outside of her house because the inside of her house, she had 23 cats. I don't know how anybody knew there was 23 cats. After all, most cats will never report for reveille. You know, cats aren't common. There could have been 45 because when you walked in the door, the smell was just overwhelming. So I never really walked in the door. I spent all my time out looking for things like that. Or kind of like that. See, I didn't know. I'm not a botanist. Not even a horticulturist. Though as a kid I thought it was a dirty word. But I was supposed to find things like something like that and pull them. Pulling weeds is what they call it. Pulling weeds. Because weeds were bad. And I was supposed to avoid things like flowers, except some flowers who look like that were also weeds. We call them dandelions. Beautiful golden little flowers that grew up, and everybody hated them because they were weeds. So it was my job to find out the difference between the weed and the flower. Weed, flower. Weed, flower. I was not good at it. Matter of fact, one day when old lady Fenderson called me, I went out in her yard and pulled a bunch of weeds. I was so proud because I came in and showed them to her, and she explained to me that I'd made a mistake. I said, I couldn't have made a mistake because I pulled this weed out. This huge root came up with it. She said, "That's not a root, it's a bulb. You pulled up all my tulips I planted." See, she wanted flowers, and right at the moment I pulled it up, it looked more like this. See, because lots of time flowers, before they look like this, they start out looking like this, and if you're dumb like me, once again, not a horticulturist, you accidentally pull them. We do the same thing with people. We do exactly the same thing with people. The rain falls on all of us, just like it's falling right now. It falls on the just and the unjust, is what the good book says. And because of that, this needs water, and this needs water, and this needs soil and nutrients, and this needs soil and nutrients. And I got to be honest with you, sometimes this, the flower, is not as resilient as this, the weed. And it became a real problem when I came down to Florida, and everything that I was taught that looked like a weed is now just natural vegetation. It's just the natural vegetation of our area. So I can't figure it out. But you see, this is why we have a story in the good book that says, when you run across weeds and flowers, don't make the distinction. Don't sit around discussing all day. Well, those people over there, they're weeds. They're weeds. And there's flowers, and we need to get rid of that so we can have more of that. Rid of that so we can get more of that. And the good book says in the process of trying to pull this out of the world, you harm these more sensitive plants. So it's not our job to do that. There are no weeds. People are not weeds. And if they are weeds, it's none of your damn business. Let them grow. Someday, the master gardener will come and gather all the plants, all the people, and all the earth. He'll decide what's a weed. Or if anything actually achieve the status of a flower.